Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We are here. It is party time. I've already actually came into the studio and turned all the lights on, believe it or not, through the magic of technology. That's how we're finding these today. But as you guys will know, it is no longer when Prem. It is now Prem. It is here. It is party time, and we are getting set up, guys, to go through the unboxing of everything. Have a look at the day one auctions, all the movers and shakers, as well as going through the live chat with you guys and getting your first take on everything that's going on, as well as just basking in the glory and the party that we've got today. And joining me, as always, for these kind of streams coming through the midweek, we've got the one, the only Harry Trades. Harry, my man, thanks for joining us. How are we doing?
How are we? Yeah, I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me. And yeah, what a monumental day, mate. Crazy.
Absolutely fine. There's a bunch of people in here in the live chat already joining us live. Fist bumps to everyone that is joining us live. Get the like buttons hit, all that good stuff, of course. And yeah, we're just going to get stuck into absolutely everything. Harry, you've just woke up. What a GM it's been for you.
Okay, don't do me too dirty. I've been up for 2 hours. I woke up at 9. So yeah, let's not make me out of some sort of slump. But no, I'm only messing with you. Yeah, no, woke up to it and just thought, yeah, like one, I need to get up right now because there's a lot going on. And I've missed a lot, obviously. You know, I've got a week left in the US, so I'm 5 hours behind all you guys in the UK right now. But yeah, now just surreal, mate. Just absolutely crazy to see these new Premier League cards, but there's new designs, there's rookies, there's all sorts to get involved with. The draft, obviously, as well. I'm a bit blown away, to be honest. It's been yeah, a very fast-paced 2 hours. I'll give you that.
It's been absolutely mental. And like, you know, everyone's been kind of, I think last week some people thought it might have happened on like the Thursday or the Friday or something, coming into the new change for all the game week stuff. And we all kind of thought with the drafts coming out, it couldn't have been too far away. And yeah, man, Monday morning, let's start the week off the way as we mean to go on. It's going to be an absolute bumper week for me. I'd already, you know, completely unrelated to this, but I'm going to the Celtic game on Wednesday. Me and McBride and Hendo are getting together. And
Wow.
if you've looked at the prize pools for the midweek and how good Celtic look, like it could be some Wednesday night, I'll tell you that. And the weekend, obviously, all the Premier League stuff is starting and all the stuff we're going to get stuck into today. So it's going to be a crazy, crazy week on all fronts, Harry boy, I think. And you'll be landing back on Monday.
Yeah, Monday I land back. Yeah, in the UK. So I'm buzzing to get stuck back into routine and just sort of to kick on this new year now with what we've got as a complete product in terms of licensing. And I mean, there's a couple of League One teams to go, I guess, in the French league. But other than that, we're looking pretty stacked. And yeah, it just feels complete. You know, it feels like, you know, it's the whole Thanos with the stones. Like, it does feel that way. It feels like it has been long overdue, doesn't it? I was saying to you before stream, like, Jesus, like, how long have we been talking about when Prem? Like, it's
Since
fascinating. And yeah, and like, I'm just looking, and I'm on the website right now, just scrolling through the cards, and it's just like, what the, like, it feels like a bit of a dream. It feels weird. I can't really like rationalize it right now. I need a day or so to like really take it in, you know, because yeah, they're digital cards on a screen, but you know, when
they look good, like, don't they?
They look great. They look great for something you can't physically touch, you know.
How different do they look to everything? You know, like,
yeah, there's just a certain, I don't know, there's a certain like cut to them. I don't know what it is. They look really, really clean. The pictures look great. Like, you know, we've had that whole like lighting situation before where there's been like, yeah, the lighting doesn't look great on some cards and whatever. This time round, it looks legit as it gets, doesn't it, mate?
aye, looks good. And it's probably like the closest I've looked to like FIFA cards, but like when you actually look at FIFA cards, you don't even get the shirts on them anyway. So these, like,
True.
You know, like, as well, like they look proper. It looks like it's just full on, isn't it? You know, some of the pictures are quality. It's good seeing the kits and everything as well, of course, because yeah, it's just been a long time coming, and to have them, like, every time we've had like some of these big new leagues come on, there sometimes has been like a design change and stuff like that. I think when all the new design stuff came out last year, kind of coincided with the big MLS going from the MLS Players Association into the MLS itself. I know K-League probably get the first run of those cards, but I think you know what I mean. So seeing this kind of style, I wonder if, I know it says here as well, if you look really closely on the cards, Harry, right at the bottom, I don't know how much we can zoom in on this. Launch edition, yeah. So
Yeah.
I wonder how unique this is going to be. Is this like a NBA season one kind of deal where, because again, launch edition, it's not really season one. Maybe because we're halfway through the season. This is basically February. At this point,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we're not going to get a full allocation on a lot of these cards now. And saying that, actually, I don't know if you've looked at the uniques, but bloody hell, are they throwing them out?
Are they? I've seen that. I saw a Lloris one went just then, didn't it? I think, but I have
Yeah,
not seen it. Yeah, so Lloris, Pascal Strujic, the Leeds defender, Argard, okay, yeah, Callum Wilson. They've got a couple, haven't they? Emmy Martinez, Douglas Luiz. Okay,
Big Saka.
okay.
I feel I saw a data live auction coming on for Big Saka. How much will
Oh,
he go for, eh?
is there a unique Saka? Is there? Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, 6 days. Ooh, so what did
Midfielder's
the
a bit
rare
rubbish, I
go for?
suppose. I suppose
It's
because he's a
not
mid, eh?
great, is it? But how
He's
much
a
did
forward.
let me just have a look. So
Maybe.
3.2 ETH for the rare. Let's call the super rare 10 if we're being nice, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And
If we're
then
going on
what?
old maths.
Unique, and then unique's probably got to be 25. I don't know, 30. I don't know. I really don't know what it would go for, to be honest. It depends. It depends if there's a big whale with deep pockets and a massive Arsenal fan. Basically, is kind of. I mean, they don't have to be an Arsenal fan, but if they are, they're going to pay over the odds for it, aren't they? Really. So,
We've got Haaland Limited closing here, Harry, and I seen somebody in the comment section saying that the price of Haalands have fallen. Of course they were going to
okay.
fall overall because like they were on limited supply. That's happened with 1,000 cards over. Like I felt bad
Yeah.
when I sold my Kieran Trippier, but a big part of the strategy of that was, well, if the Prem comes, the kind of the scarcity element on that card kind of goes away at a point that we see coming down the road. So again, Haaland is
Yeah.
no different. Like as soon
No.
as it comes, it's a changing of the goalposts. He's at a situation of, even like those limited De Bruynes, there's like 20 of them. Like as soon as
Mm-hmm.
the Premier League comes, that whole situation changes. It's unavoidable.
It is. I think like the Man City kit, like there's something about these new cards, Quinny. Unfortunately, like I feel the same with like my Pedri. Like I have like the older season Pedri, and the new season just looks great. So
Yeah.
like, part of me feels like, oh, I'd love to have the new card, even though it's going to do the same job for me in that sense. Similar to like with this whole Man City Haaland thing. I know. I mean, yeah. The Haaland isn't even a rookie Dortmund card. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he was at Salzburg before, so we don't even have those. So there's no like nostalgia attached to a Haaland card, and that tells me like, these sort of Man City Haaland cards are probably, they are going to go for more. They have the season bonus, I guess. But then so does
First
the
year in
old
the
ones, which is
Prem, and if he
interesting.
does golden boots and all that kind of stuff, the
Yeah,
records he's setting this season, like that's
yeah.
a nice piece, isn't it? Anyway,
This is like his rookie Premier League season, if that makes sense. without it being
yeah.
sort of, on the card display type of thing. But yeah, no, yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Was it £817, 5 seconds to go? So that's 0.63 ETH. And you can buy him now for 0.6 ETH. So I guess it's in line with kind of what's
listed.
I get it. Yeah, it's like what, 50 quid more, 40 quid more list. Yeah, price 40 quid more than what was listed type of thing. But what did the one of 1,000 go for? It must have went for more than that.
It's like 1,200. It said on the thing when I
Okay.
clicked onto it. So when you scroll down, 1,300.
Yeah.
Let's see exactly where that is in Ethereum. That is 1.05.
One. Okay, so basically double for the one of 100, effectively.
1,000.
One of 1,000. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Now, people have been telling me already, Harry, that these things are in the prize pools already.
Yeah, I looked at. Well, I tell you what, I looked at the prize pools earlier for like this midweek, and I'll be honest, I didn't see them in there. But let me see if I can go again and have a look. Star rare.
Yeah, we've got your
Yeah,
screen on now.
They're not in. They're not in this one game week. I think they're in game week 343.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know how to see that. Yeah, if I'm being stupid, so we need. Yeah, we can't yeah, we can't see that, can we? Because all we can see is the
limited,
limited and the drafts. Yeah, maybe you can see it through the limited. Let me check. Premier League Amateur. I guess it would be through here. Yeah.
Haaland.
So
he's in the pool already.
3 stars. He's in. I guess this hasn't updated. There must be more tier ones and tier twos and stuff than this.
They'll definitely be taking auction data, won't they, over the next 48 hours and trying to get as many of them into tier 2 and tier 3 as quickly as possible, and all the other tiers, of course.
True. I didn't think of that. Yeah, of course, it's going to go off. Yeah, the auction prices, right? Yeah, good point.
Oh, Josh
Yeah, no,
says you can change the URL to. Oh yeah, I always forget that trick.
you can still do that, can you?
Yeah, to change it to
I
three
didn't know
four
you
three.
could.
I always forget about
Ouch.
it. Joshy Four got his finger on the web.
I know.
Knows how
Well,
to
my
get these things
URL just
done.
says upcoming. Mine doesn't say a number, if that makes sense. I don't know whether I have
Oh
to
really?
do
I need to
something.
check mine.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do
Or
it.
maybe check live.
Josh,
No.
go to game week 343. How would you do that, Josh?
Lobby. I'm
Change
just gonna
the
change
URL. Go to
upcoming
game week
to
343.
game week 343. I'm just gonna change it.
Yeah, I'm probably being stupid here, but I don't know how to change.
Nah, I tried to do something that didn't work.
Didn't work.
Yeah, I can't get the
We're
URL to
just
say anything about the game week either.
yeah, they are
GWK.
right.
Oh, that's what I done. GWK is. Sorry, I typed in the word game week like a spanner. GWK. What was it? 343. Let's try that.
Yeah,
That page not found.
we're just
Queenie.
noobs. That's all we are, Quinny. Nothing more.
Change the
That's
URL on
all
the
we are.
rewards page. Oh, Harry boy, there we go. Rewards page.
Now we're talking. Nah, here we go.
Mine
Yeah,
still says
rewards, Jan.
31st of Jan. Mine still says 31st of Jan.
Just football said, just show us your teams. I wish I had a team to show you. I haven't even built my draft yet, actually.
We've got
So
some here. Well, we're going to build the teams, and we've got some 40-point heavyweights looked out. We've got some 60-point must-havers, and yeah, we've got a lot of stuff like that to go through. But before we get that party in full effect, guys, if you could do me a massive favor, we put a little tweet out across the Twitter sphere. It looks like this. If you could go give it a wee bit of love, a like, a retweet, a comment, party time, the party hat emoji with the wee party popper coming out, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get the party turned up, guys. There's 126 views here. Smash that like button if you're watching this live. If you're watching this after we've been live, fist bump to you, and I hope you enjoy it and you hit the like button as well. But yeah, thanks to everyone that can support the channel and the stream by hitting on that little Twitter, as it were. We'll try and work out this this rewards pool thing because I definitely want to get to it. But when it comes to obviously, Harry, we were on Sorare TV last week with Alex doing the drafts for Serie A, Bundesliga, France, and La Liga, all four of them.
Yeah.
And we found the same kind of trends and the same kind of patterns kind of falling through them. And I don't know how well you think your team's done this weekend. I had some kind of mixed success and whatever. But I definitely feel like coming into this draft, well prepared. How do you feel?
Yeah, in terms of this draft or how I did on the weekend or both?
Yeah, kind of all.
Well, yeah, I didn't have any outstanding scores, to be honest, this weekend. Bundesliga 321. I had 100 from Hoffman, which is nice, but I didn't captain him. Pretty poor on the French league, 256. The Spanish is yet to finish because Villarreal played this evening. On 175, there were 2 players to go, so yeah, not great again. And then Serie A 268. So nothing. I didn't hit over 325 on any of those. So yeah, pretty disappointing. I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe I didn't put as much effort as I probably should have, but they're free to play. I can't get up for them as much as I can, my legit teams, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles for me right now. But I am really excited for this Premier League one, and like you said, there's a few gems in there, Quinny. We were talking before we went
the
live.
draft is tasty.
Yeah, like the price is like because obviously us Sorare players, we don't really care too much about the Premier League in that sense before it was on here. In the sense of like there's just not that many teams on here, not many licensed players. It doesn't really affect us too much. But now they are, and we're seeing like the points attributed to some of the players on the draft. I don't know. Everything's just a little bit skewed. I'm really struggling to like recalibrate, because I'm looking at really good players, and I'm seeing like, for example, I don't know if you want to get into it, but the 40-point thing, Quinny. I saw the Kulusevski for 40 points as a forward is just blowing my mind. Yeah, and I know that's sort of going off like recent form. Recent form. I'm looking at here. January 19th, he scored 82 against Man City, and he scored 43 against Fulham this most recent game. So, they're not terrible scores. Before that, you're looking at 64, 76s, 54 against Brentford. A couple of DMPs in between there with a few injuries and stuff. But 40 points for a Kulusevski, I just don't see how you could. I don't think anybody can leave him there for 40 points. I'd be shocked if anyone could do that personally.
It's quite tough, isn't it? I think for forwards, like, I tell you, my 40-point hitter that
Go on.
thought I want to watch with. Wait till I go and dig him up and I'll swap screens with you. But because I thought in forward area there is a lot of 40-point options depending on if you're going to try and save those points for back down the field. But for me at 40 points, let me get the screen. It's only got to be Eddie Nketiah. He's on 40 points now. He's just obviously killed Man United, and if he's going to keep on going, even from the bench and stuff like that, if he even does get a bit of rotated, I think at 40 points for a deadly striker, I don't know. I think he's brilliant.
He is. I just
Even
worry
if he does
about
get rotated.
Jesus coming back is the issue. But he
I
has
think
been
he's
great. I can't knock that. I can't knock how good Nketiah has been since coming in for Jesus. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a. But then the thing is with the draft, you can swap in and out. Was it twice a week? So it's not as if you need to keep him forever, type of thing. So yeah, for the
totally.
next couple of weeks, why not? 100%.
Yeah, so I don't know. He was just the first one I seen down to the 40-point mark where I thought he's just going to be on form now for sure. And like,
Hmm.
even if he does get rotated, because when I did this draft, the first forward I picked was Haaland, of course. So like, he's
Yeah.
just that's the decision I made for it quite quickly. So I'll get Haaland, and then who's the best kind of 40-point guy? And I think between Haaland and Nketiah, I'd probably be quite well covered for the next kind of month or so. Arsenal going for the league, of course, as well as City. Um,
Yeah.
and Arsenal's probably the team I've watched the most over the last month and trying to get some sort of preparation together for
Hmm.
actually paying attention to the Prem on a proper kind of basis. So maybe I'm a little bit skewed or biased in that respect. There's a bunch of stuff in the live chat I'll probably grab attention to because there's a bunch of you joining us live here, by the way. Fist bumps, and please do smash the like button. There's a bunch of you here, but all the legends are here. Josh Forth, Tracy Beaker, I see you in the house. Jeremy Graham, Sorare Malta, Tom Carter, FIFA Addict, I see you as well. Alex Dobbins, all the heroes, all the legends are here. Harry Trades, you're in the chat as well. Noah Brook, Batman Abs, Sorry Malta, good to see you. Olympic Manager. Andy Black, you're double booked maybe. Are you not on a show there now? It's Charlie Dunbar, Sorry Josh, Mini Me, good to see all the heroes. Alex Wilson, Hoodwink, good to see you all joining us nice and live and loud. And let me know if you're getting involved in the day one auctions. People were messaging me, Odson Edward and Christie have both got their uniques up in the first week, and it's like, there's just no chance I'm going to be getting anywhere near those former Celtic cards in any way. So is there a card that you're bending over for? Are you going out into the market and throwing some assets into the wind just to liquidate them and go and get something? Is there anything that you're smitten by, and let me know? Or if you have a bit of an ETH balance anyway, is there anything that you're just like, I'm going to treat myself, and you go out and picking something up? Harry, will you be delving into any day one air quotes action?
I'll be honest. I don't think I'll delve into day one
Well, air quotes was
situations.
more on the day one than the action part. I butchered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I won't be. I won't be like overpaying for one of 1,000, one of 100, or one of 1,000, or one of a 10, one of tens type of thing. I'm not really interested in that, to be honest. But there is there is a card or so that I would be interested in. I don't know if I want to make it too public, because there's only so many of them on
Sure.
the old marketplace. But no, I mean, no, I'm not like gagging for anyone, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I prefer to, ideally try and win a couple of these through, my under 23 adventures in the next sort of couple months. And I'm not looking to sort of break the bank with anyone at all. I'll give a clue. There's a forward that I might potentially buy or try and buy in rare. But yeah, other than that, like, I'm not really too I'm not getting itchy feet on anyone really, to be honest.
Fair enough. I was actually getting maybe a wee bit tempted. Like, seem you look at Foden, he's not really that good on Sorare. Like,
Hmm.
so I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe I could get a Foden like kind of cheap because there's no reason for him to be expensive when you look at him, like on paper.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was maybe hoping something like that might have maybe fell into my lap, but I'm not going to
Hmm.
count on it too hard. I think a lot of the guys I like are kind of well known at this point,
Hmm.
especially any kind of remnants of like any insight or intel we maybe had from other Optiscore matrices and stuff like that we've seen in the past. They're 2 or 3 years further on in their career now, and a lot of them aren't really secrets anymore. They're maybe getting their minutes, and they're a first team player in the team, like guys like
Yeah.
Cucurella and Douglas Luiz and a few of those kind of guys, Madison, whatever, Barnes,
I
whatever. So
will I will say there's like, I am gonna have a little itch for like Welsh players. So yeah, if nobody can outbid me on some Welsh guys, that'd be great. Um I'm just looking
oh,
now. There's a
so he's just
couple
talking
going
about
in the
an SR
next.
Bruno, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the SR Bruno 2.7 ETH, wasn't it?
Oofed.
It's hefty. It's pretty
Yeah,
hefty.
first time Bruno's been available for like 3 years or something.
Been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. It's been a
He's
long time.
only got like 6 rares or something, I think.
Yeah.
Ruben Diaz
Yeah, been
back in the mix as well. Be interesting
back
to
in the
see how.
fold.
Somebody was saying in the chat, hold off because most of them will drop by 50%, and I definitely see a bit of deja vu here from day one auctions on NBA, definitely.
Hmm.
But some of these guys, like the thing that this release has that no other release has had is the clout of like it's the Premier League like launch edition, that kind of thing. So like
Yeah.
because whenever it's came out before, it's like, oh, who gives a fuck about MLS or who cares about the J, like. But this is the Premier League. If this is one people are going to care about, it's this one, So like
Yeah.
maybe that tail
I
off
don't know
isn't quite
how.
as sharp as we've seen in the
May,
past.
maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, like we've said, we've seen it with the one of the hundreds and thousands already with like the Haaland. You're basically playing double if you want a one of. I just don't know how much weight the rest of those mints are going to really carry just because they are launch edition, because let's be fair, we're going to get new cards in let's say August, September, roughly
Yeah.
for the new season. So it's like, yeah, you've got like a 5-6 month sort of season bonus left on these cards because they've come on in basically February, which is annoying in some ways, but at least they're here, isn't it? It's one of them ones where you've probably just got to take it on the chin and just roll with the punches.
We've got a number 2 Harry Kane about to go. The number 1 Harry went for 450 quid, which compared to what was it we just looked at there? Haaland. That's a bit of a snip. Potential all-time Premier League goal scorer in the making here, and yada yada, and all the rest of it. Everyone's favourite striker on FPL and Premier League and FIFA and all the rest of it. Goldie's going for it, but I think we know Goldie. I think he's in the live chat. Talent Detective's a new name for sure. But yeah, interesting to see where that one maybe goes. We bit of Harry Kane, because he's one that people have been waiting for. He's like basically an English Ciro Immobile for Sorare intents and purposes.
Yeah, and obviously playing for England and all that. Because that's what I'm thinking as well. Like if I get my Welsh guys in, I've got like Welsh like sort of international utility as well, through their cards. So yeah, no, there's some interesting little plays at play, I guess, with the Premier League because we have so many international players in the Premier League. You got to think their utility is sort of double barreled in that sense, not only domestically, but most of them play for their national teams as well.
Yeah, so many clubs in the Premier League now are, like you say, absolutely covered in international players. I'm just catching a comment here from Ben Johnson saying Martinelli for 46 is wild. Let's have a look at Martinelli. He is at 46 and he is fit and available. He is playing, so he's maybe just got a good L15 situation, which it does seem to. But yeah, if he's nailed on starter, I know Martinelli was really ripping trees up earlier this season, probably before I was really paying attention, but Arsenal's next couple of games, Everton, Brentford, then Man City. I don't know if that's a great run. Well, I suppose I've got Nketiah on that, so it can't be that bad. But yeah, Martinelli at 46 points is definitely a decent shout. No two ways about it.
It is, but then you look at I'm not looking to look down upon that Martinelli shout, right? I'm just looking on Sorare data here. In his last 16, so in his last 16 games, there's a 66, a 70, and a 72. The rest are all below 46. So before that, don't get me wrong, there was a nice stretch of dark greens, but the last sort of, and I know you can couple that with the World Cup as well, and I know that's not whatever it is, but there's not too much to look at in that sense. I can see why he's a 46-point player for now, but like you said, if you think he can sort of get back to those really dark green scores, then yeah, or by all means, he could be a really good price forward for sure.
Yeah. Noah Brook is saying, have you seen the Garnacho card design? So sexy. I think this is the rookie edition, isn't it? So let me go and check the card edition. Rookie. And I think it was rare. People, look at the limiteds, man. Don't they look nice? I think it was the rare that was getting sent around to me anyway. Super rare looks okay too. Super rare does look nice kind of oil spill like that on the uniques. But the rare is, the rare's pretty special, isn't it? Where's the Garnacho? Why is this special just because it's Man United? He's the best rookie.
The Rico Lewis one looks really cool as well.
I like the wee rookie logo. It's a bit smaller, but it's getting smaller on these cards, some of these logos, but they're just about squeezing everything on. The Sorare logo, the rookie logo, the Premier League logo, the Man City logo. Getting just about everything onto that card now. But yeah, man, they're stunning. Really good looking cards.
I'm just looking here, Quinny. You know Smith, the one who makes like YouTube content.
No, sorry.
He,
Maybe it's
he
seen or
does like
something, but when you're saying
Sunday
it.
League. It's like the Sunday League. You know, like I don't know. He does like a Sunday League team and whatever they make like YouTube content, whatever. He just
Okay.
bought Jamal Lewis 2 minutes ago, but before that, he hadn't been on Sorare for like a year. So it looks like people are coming out of the woodworks again, and yeah, buying some Sorare cards. I'm seeing a bit of Welsh hate in the
Yeah, I'm just
comments.
catching that as well.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. I won't nibble. It's fine.
A lot of great
No
international
nibbles.
utility in the Prem. Because even a lot of the guys, like you say, even on the bench, if you win one as a reward or something, sometimes they are like the starting right back for Colombia or whatever, you know. And yeah, some good tier 2s and tier 3s to come into it for sure. Sorare Mola, I paid €22 for a Seamus Coleman, 1 of 1,000. Crazy price, but he's a hero of mine. I don't think 22 quid for a 1 of is crazy at all, even if it is. Is Seamus Coleman a DNP merchant these days? If so, like, maybe, but 20 quid, I don't think that's bad at all, man. For what it is. James Maddison for me is #1 target, says Noah Brook. Let's have a look at Maddison.
Yeah, James Maddison. I haven't seen his card yet, to be honest.
I just realised I never had those cards on screen. Sorry, guys. But yeah, these are the cards. These are the rookie ones. The blue one's quite cool.
Ooh,
Quite like the
yeah.
blue one. I'd be interested to see the unique. Blue one's quite nice.
I like look at the Maddison card. Really, really nice.
Maddison, yeah.
It's just like I forget all these players. Like I watch the Premier League every week, but because like I don't have any exposure to them on Sorare, like I just haven't cared as much as I probably should have. Like I know
the other
Maddison
23
would
goalkeeper
slap
everyone wants to get their hands on now, Harry boy.
the Southampton kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
#1 for Ireland. I think. Well, I know that Kelleher guy gets in for some caps, but I think this guy's fancy, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good one actually. That Basnu, because he does play for Ireland, doesn't he? That's a really good shout.
I did do a video on Premier League bargains that included Bazinu, Harry, all the way back in December.
Okay.
If anyone wants to catch it, it's still on the channel. This stuff doesn't go anywhere. GX Bash, there's a pinned comment in the live chat. If you want to sign up, you'll get a free limited by hitting on that. Go to supporting the channel. We thank you in advance if you do so. If you get stuck, hit me up and we'll come and sort you out. Tracy Beaker was also asking earlier, Harry, just for anyone who is new here, the global division is not the division where you play to earn £50 of Ethereum anymore. That's now moved into capped 240 for the rare division. You get £5 for playing with the limited cards and capped 240 for the limited cards, and it's the same for super rares, but it's obviously up the scale as it were. If you can't sign in, I can't sign into the app. Oh, well, I don't know what you need to do then, GX Bash, sorry. I can't sign into the app. Yeah, hit the link in the description if you haven't made an account yet. And otherwise, if you've locked yourself out your account, you probably need to contact customer services. And checking the secondary market for Premier League right now, says Ugo Sorare. Loving it. In terms of midfielders, Harry, did you get to any under 40 cheat codes or 40 point heavyweights, as we're calling them?
Yeah, well, I've got I think he's at, let me check again. I think I've got him written down as a 43 pointer, but let me just double check. Yeah, 43 points. I think Mason Mount's hard to leave there at 43 points, to be honest. Set piece taker. He hasn't really had a decisive in his last couple, to be fair. So his scores are a little bit flatlined. But December 27th and 96 against Bournemouth. So, I'm a sucker for a set piece taking midfielder. And at 43 points, I don't know if I can leave him there, to be honest, Quinny.
It's a great shout. The only one that kind of caught my eye on the first pass was Foden at 45. But like we were just saying, like if you actually look at his scores, it's like I don't really need that in my life for this draft. You know what I mean? It's just an expensive disappointment. Well, it's even expensive at 45 points, but it's high expectations that are going to be disappointed because on Sorare, he just doesn't seem to score well enough, often enough, which is a real shame.
Not at all. Yeah. Yeah, they're the only two sort of. I tried to look in the defenders. I wasn't too impressed with what I could find for like less than in the 40 sort of region. I probably didn't look as good as I mean, Estupinan at 41 could be a decent shout.
Yeah, I thought for defence, him and Cancelo were the standouts, but of course we've got breaking news that Cancelo is on loan to Bayern Munich now. So
yeah,
we've not got him as a cheat code in the Premier League model anymore. We'll probably see him pop up in a Bundesliga draft somewhere near you sometime soon. But yeah, Estupinan did stand out. Do you know
Romero
who
at
I,
40 is not a bad shout.
I thought Ramiro. So yeah, no, I didn't. I looked at Estupian, and then it was a lot of other guys. Eight Nuri. I just seen him on your screen there. I thought Eight Nuri was really
Yeah,
good because he's again like that doesn't really come into
yeah,
anything for this draft, but just to give you context on his season, he is like 21. You know, he's still quite
yeah.
young. He's playing every week, and Wolves are getting better. And as we know from Eight Nuri, when he was in Ligue 1, he's an attacking left back. You know, really attacking.
They've
So
got
if Wolves get
they've
their
got
shit
a
together,
better they've got
he's
a
a big
better
one.
left back than that right now, Quinny,
Oh,
called
do they?
Bueno. Yeah, he's like 19. Let me show you him.
Bueno. Oh, Hugo Bueno. I've
Um,
got him here. I didn't know he was a left back.
yeah,
Oh yeah, he looks okay.
he's been insane. Like he's really good,
Oh yeah,
really
nice,
good player.
cool.
But I do rate out Nori. He's class in his own way. But yeah, I'm just trying to work out who to go for defense. I
Kyle
know he's
Walker at
not,
41
but
as well.
yeah, Walker at 41. But again, yeah, he hasn't really been playing. The Man City defensive situation recently has been a bit weird, hasn't it? So we're looking at names where you're like, oh, they're a given, but they're just not because they're just not playing as much as you'd want them to. And we all know you have to play games on Sorare to score points. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. The one I was getting really tempted by and getting a bit soft for was Christopher Ayer. I think he's in the team. I would need to investigate it further, but he's 40 points and ex-Celtic player, plays for Brentford. He's not going to be a great scorer, but if I know he's going to play every week, then I'll definitely draft him for 40 points because that's just fun, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm here for.
Trippier is 75 points, Quinny.
It's mental, isn't it?
It's nuts, isn't it? I know he's probably the best Premier League player right now in terms of like Sorare stats or whatever. Like he is, but 75 is a hefty yeah,
What do you think of Saliba at
budget to throw on him.
46? Because I was looking at Arsenal defenders. I think Gabriel's a great shout, but Saliba is a bit cheaper.
Yeah. I'm just looking at for the same price, Lisandro Martinez, who scores pretty well if he's playing like 82 in his last game against Arsenal. Okay, he scored 66 against Palace. Saliba weirdly doesn't actually score. Like he scores okay, but I wouldn't like. There's not many peaks in there where I'm like, wow, like this guy's gonna win you a division. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's the problem with this draft. Like
Sure.
you need guys who are gonna like just
Kill.
smash on given game weeks. Yeah, and I just. It's easy to say, yeah, well, we should go for this 46 pointer guy. He got some 50s, whatever. But like, ultimately that isn't going to win you a card because there's only 200 of them on offer and there's 50,000 of us playing. So it's like, you need to stand out from the crowd. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's a bad shout in terms of like fillers because you need 8 players and, you need to counterbalance expensive players with non-expensive players to sort of even things out. But yeah, it's interesting. Like you kind of just like Estupinan at 41 looks a little bit more peaky to me. Not to a crazy degree, but like I would prefer Estupinan over Saliba just because on his given day, he could get 2 assists and you've got 100 basically if he gets a clean sheet against a Bournemouth, at home. That kind of entices me more than a Saliba would, if that makes sense. But so I'm just sort of trying to give a bit of, just thinking in terms of how you could actually do well in these sort of drafts. You need guys who are going to score really high peaks, basically.
Yeah. I think defenders is a really difficult one to place when we've looked at all these divisions because there's so many different things you need to consider. Can they keep a clean sheet? Do they have AA? Do they have a goal threat? So many, and then how many points do they cost? What's the other guys like? So I think defense across all these drafts has been really difficult for that kind of reason, Harry. Like I've not actually got in my draft as it sits now a cheap midfielder. I'm going with Saka and De Bruyne on that,
Okay.
and that's kind of what I did first time around. Is like I went for Man City, Arsenal in attack. Haaland, Nketiah, Saka, and De Bruyne, and just thought that's good, and then just try and get cheap everywhere else. Which is kind of the strategy I did for some of the other leagues, But defense, there's so many. Like Stupian looks very good at 41 points because his L5 is brilliant, But can Brighton keep it up? It sounds like they're really ambitious. They're not trying to sell at Casiedo. They're trying to get into Europe and whatever. So I think it's Stupian at 41 points. It's hard to ignore with the peaks he's got.
Especially because I am a sucker for a defensive stack. Robert Sanchez at 42, Estupinan at 41 with a little defensive goalkeeper stack just sounds too tasty for me. I really like the look of that. Like you said, can they sustain it? Who knows? But I think in terms of like a budget stack, I don't think it gets much better than that personally.
Scores are decent enough, aren't they? He can concede, but he's got some 20s and some 15s and stuff.
Like I've got 65 points left here for a substitute goalie, and then obviously the points all roll over for next week as well.
Bazunu's 40 points.
Bazuno's 40, is he? Yeah, well then I've got to
Yeah,
get him
Bazunu
in.
for me is the number one get for a goalkeeper.
Am I being stupid leaving 25 points on the table here, Quinny?
Well, let me just catch you up for a
Probably.
second.
In
Probably,
terms
yeah.
of like, do I need Mount in there for 43 points if I can go out and get De Bruyne for 64? I might as well just get the De Bruyne, really, isn't it? It's kind of how that'll probably end up working itself out.
Who was your forward there for 51 points?
Rashford.
Rashford. Nice.
I
So
think
you
that's a
went
good
Rashford
price.
and Kulusevski. Nice. Kulusevski's really good at 40, hasn't he? He's
I just
playing.
can't see how you can leave Kula there for 40 points, honestly. Someone said Badiashile at 50 is a steal. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Well, a 50-point defender is what I'm missing, and I think the best 50-point defender I could find was... Wait till I go get him up on screen as soon as I find him. There he is there. Again, featured in that video that I plugged earlier on, Harry, would you believe? Mark Guy, or Guy, or whatever you call him, at Crystal Palace.
Great.
And
Yeah.
yeah, if you look at his scores, man, he's a pretty solid centre defender. Palace kind of
Top player,
mid-table now. Yeah, and
really good player. Ball playing centre half. Chelsea academy graduate. Very good player.
yeah. So I thought him and Estupiñán is a good kind of defensive cheap combo, and then add Bazunu for 40 points and goals with Emi Martinez for 47.
It feels like with this draft, like I'm not having to be as like conservative with like certain picks as I was with the other four like leagues for some reason. Like
It's up
good
front.
players.
There's no Messi and
Yeah, it's
Mbappe's
weird,
and
isn't it? Yeah,
Neymar,
okay.
and
Yeah,
or when you go
that's
into
the big
Spain,
difference,
it's
isn't it?
Vinny and Benzema and all
70
this.
points for Messi, and okay.
Because look at the top row, you're
Yeah.
not going to spend 63 points on Gakpo. You're not spending 62 points on Mahrez. These guys aren't even
No.
options for this draft now. Maybe Salah at 56 is good, but what do you think about Salah for 56? That is kind of good, actually.
It is, but
if he gets back to form.
Yeah, like you're looking at the last decisive he got December 26th against Villa, and he hasn't got much of an AA game to where there's some decent AA games there, but I'm not looking at anything incredible for that price. Like for 16 less points, I just don't see how Kulusevski isn't a better choice because takes the odd set pieces. I know Salah's on
for
pens.
53?
Son's come back into form. Yeah, you probably say that is a good shout for sure. But then the problem is like, can he outscore? I mean, he has done, but like if somebody else has got Kane and you've got Son, and there's pens and whatever, Kane's gonna just sweep up, isn't he? In those sort of tight games where there's penalties that are deciding games, if that makes sense. Where Son's gonna have to score. He's gonna have to score from just normal play to kind of outscore Harry Kane. And I don't know, the whole goal of Spurs is to basically get the ball to Harry Kane and for him to score. So I don't know. I don't know what type of play that is really in terms of like forwards. But then you could say the same about Kulu, but you're looking at 22 points less. That he's not somebody that I'm going to play every week, if that makes sense. So the points just seem a bit fairer sort of on this Premier League draft than they do on the other drafts.
Ugo reckons Bruno Fernandes is a must-have, and we're getting a lot of shouts for Reece James as a value defender as well. Huge shout. Yeah,
that's a good shout with Reece James. I just worry about, will I ever get utility out of him this season type of thing. Bruno at 72 points though. Jesus. I don't know if I can do that.
I was going to say, looking at the Alejandro Garnacho common, I think that's probably the nicest one. You can actually look at it, man, because it's like silver and shiny. It's quite cool. But I think that's
forward,
midfielder. Oh no, forward. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Another detail we need to throw out there, by the way, for anyone who is watching this and thinking, how can I get involved in this game? GX Bashi is asking again in the live chat, how can I play this game? There's a pinned comment in the live chat. You click on that and it'll set you up, no problem at all. But in this draft, for anyone that is new, you can only pick 2 people from the same team, maximum. So you can't just, once we've picked our 2 Man City guys or your 2 Arsenal guys or whatever, you can't just keep going down the chain, as it were. So interesting detail for anyone out there who's building their teams.
Yeah, someone thinks the Ben Johnson says the Kulu at 40 is an error. Shows as an else 15 of 60 when I put him in my 5-a-side team. Yeah, well, I've confirmed my draft, so he's staying in my team. Yeah, that's true, actually. When you look at his L15, it does show 60. That's really interesting.
Indeed.
Well, there's your cheat code for you guys.
That's
Kulu
it.
at 40. You're welcome. You are very, very welcome. Someone's saying the invite friends for the new rewards is a new thing. Apparently, you can get Premier League players as the reward, I think.
Oh, nice. They did that before with MLS and stuff, didn't they? They
Massive.
want to make sure if you're joining in a
They
promotion that
did,
you get the
yeah.
kind of thing you're hyped about, which is cool.
100%. I'm just making my team for
Yeah, I can see that.
this
Nice.
Weekend.
Going Rashford
Yeah, I
and
don't know if they go
Saka.
for my. Yeah, they
And
got better
Stupian.
fixtures than. Yeah, I like the Bournemouth at home. I'm thinking double clean sheet, Saka DA, Rashford couple of DAs, and then it's who do I pick out of De Bruyne, Kulu, and Trent? It's probably good in a weird way. It might have to be Trent in a weird way. But then you probably got to go De Bruyne, haven't you? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. It's tough. Yeah, you probably got to go De Bruyne. I'll captain Saka. Don't want to captain De Bruyne.
Our teams are very
So
similar,
I'm
Harry.
locking in and out. Are they really?
I've got Emi Martinez in goals, Stupian in defence,
Okay.
and then a midfield duet of De Bruyne and Saka, and then I've went Haaland up front.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, the De Bruyne Haaland duet. I like it. Yeah, Rico Lewis is a good pickup, especially with Cancelo off to Bayern. Yeah, that's a good shout for sure. Ben Johnson's got Edison, Varane, Saka, Kane, Odegaard.
Oh, that's a nice
Like it.
team for sure. I really wanted
is a
to get
nice
Ederson
team.
because Ederson's really cheap, but I'm taking the I took my two City players elsewhere. Get Rodri in, says Hoodwink, and that is a huge shout because Rodri, when you look at SO5 scoring charts, he's
He's incredible, isn't he?
Yeah, he's wildly all over them. But his points are the same as De Bruyne's, and I know I'm just going to be a bit snobby saying that I can't pick Rodri over De Bruyne, but I can't. Let's have a look at the
Yeah.
Because De Bruyne on 64, Rodri on a 68. But his form is stellar. Doesn't do anything less than a 50 ever. Pushes high 70s and 60s on the reg. He's almost Kimmich level, maybe not quite, but not far away.
Without the set pieces, I guess.
Yeah, without the set pieces and without the decisors, Rodri maybe gets 2 or 3 goals, 2 or 3 assists each a season. So that's all on defensive interceptions, passing in the final third, all that good stuff that he gets up to. Very repeatable actions, I suppose. But to be 4 points more than the Ginger Zidane, I just I can't do it. And again, De Bruyne had a terrible World Cup here, still didn't drop below 55 barely. And then in the Prem, he can get into runs in 90s, 89s, 87s, 88, 100. So yeah, I think that's where I get stuck with that Hoodwink. But if you can get the full City midfield, if that's where you're going to build, that would be OP. Because Rodri starts every game in Pep Roulette. Rodri does not get rotated. He's like one of the least rotation players in that team. So you got a lot of kind of a known quantity with him. Eddie York, his team is Pope, Trippier, the Butcher, Martinez, Mitoma, and somebody said about Mitoma earlier. We'll come to him, and Nketiah.
Like it.
Eddie York, we do like that. Mitoma, but by the way, his L15 is quite high. I think it's like in the 50s, 54. But when you look at his form, man, it's popping now. That L15 is going to change very soon. 83, 45, 66, 60 in the last 4. Great form, and he's really getting a lot of rave reviews now, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Some Alex says Newcastle stack for him, no brainer. Pope and Botman.
How much is Botman?
Yeah,
must be like 60 or something.
I think he's 55.
That's decent, by the way.
It's not bad, is it?
He's just been a boss. But again, when you look at Botman, he kind of falls into that trap of what you were saying with Saliba. It's between 52 and 67 he scores. Does he have a 70?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Probably
I don't see a
not.
70 here. I don't see a 70,
Probably not. That's the issue, isn't it? And Trippier is probably always going to outscore him is another issue. And then you're going to be up against the Pope Trippier combos, which is something you've got to consider, I think. When running that Newcastle stack Trippier is just such a beast. And if I know it's 75 points and I know I haven't bought it myself, but people will do that. And I guarantee you, if Newcastle do get a clean sheet this next week, I don't know who they're playing Newcastle, West Ham. Trippier's probably going to clean up. And then obviously Pope clean sheet. It's just who you got for that other 3 positions, midfielder, forward, extra. I guarantee you, that person will probably win the draft thing. I'd imagine if Newcastle get a really nice clean sheet and Trippier does something.
Joe Ducey's got a great shout here. He says Pope and Shar also good. Shar's 58 points. I mean, you look at his recent scores, it looks like he
Really
gets
good.
a lot of the dirty work in that Newcastle defence. 82
Yeah,
points against Palace, 77 against Fulham, 76 against Arsenal. So yeah, it's a great shout, Joe Ducey. Just Football,
great
hi,
shout.
fist bump, good to see you. Can you do a tutorial for beginners? Just Football, there's a playlist on the channel called New to Sorare Start Here, and in that I've broke down absolutely everything into a little 10-minute segment, bite-sized chunks, easy to watch, and it should be linked in the description of this video. Actually, dead easy to find, and it explains the scoring matrix, ETH, all the stuff you need to learn or find out about at your discretion. Shar seems nice. Victory definitely does, man. At 58 points, we're thinking about a premium defender. You're going to spend around the 60 mark. He's not a bad shout, man. At 30 odd, you know what you're getting from him. In terms of,
Yeah, no, I'm
he's not like
tempted.
a wonder kid breakout guy that might burn out to nothing,
No, definitely not. But I'm tempted actually, yeah, by that shot. In honesty, just to bring him in instead of Trent because I don't know. I've just got a weird feeling about Trent right now. So I'm gonna potentially take out my Trent for. How do we do this now? This is all confusing me. So we'll go play,
You hit the redraft button.
redraft. There we go. And then I go get rid of Trent, and I am gonna bring in Shah, guys. I'm gonna trust your. Trust the recommendation and throw Shah in there. I'm even tempted to go play Shah as my extra player, Quinny. Do I play Fabian Shah over Kevin De Bruyne? Is the question.
So play Shar and Estupian. That feels
Possibly, yeah.
feels extra brave.
It does, but both at home, both great fixtures. Going off Shah's last couple of games, it'd be hard not to think that they could, get another clean sheet there and him score above 70s. And, De Bruyne's been okay recently, but nothing crazy. And they're playing Tottenham away. So, if I got my Sorare hat on, Quinny, I think Shah is the play in a weird way.
Yeah. Shar could be good for sure, man. I've never got the bones to do double defense. It's just I can't do it. It feels like anti-football to me. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I get it. I definitely get
Anti-Sorare
it.
football. Ajax defensive stacks have just given me trauma, I suppose.
Yeah, I was just
looking.
then. Zinchenko Super Rare went for just under an ETH, but he is a midfielder card. Yeah, he's a midfielder, which kind of kills him a little bit. He still scores okay, but there's just not enough peaks in there really to really like justify it. I can't believe Alexis McAllister is still under 23. I think he's 24 right now, but his card's still under 23 eligible, which is cool.
Some great teams in the chat, by the way. Decided to go for Shar instead of Trippier, says Joe Ducey. But Kaya here is went with Ederson, Jose Sa, Shaw, Romero, Saka, Odegaard, Haaland, and Kulusevski. That's a great sounding 8, by the way. Well done, Kaya. And also as well, we've got a great one here from Peter Pesic. What about Leno, Trippier, Odegaard, Nketiah, and Badiashile? That's not a bad build at all. Sorare Motla is rocking Sanchez, Badiashile, Bruno, Rashford, and Saka, with Nketiah, Sat, and Diaz as the 40s. Nice.
I like it. I'm gutted, Quinny. There's a Super N Nico Williams on the on auction. Me and whoever else owns the other 3 are no longer the only four Sorare managers in the world owning Super N Nicos. Absolutely gutted.
Do you know, I just thought, I'm really sorry that just popped into my head, but like, Nottingham Forest don't have a sponsor in the middle of the shirt.
They don't, do they? Yeah.
Who was the last sponsor in the middle of a Nottingham Forest shirt?
Oh, yeah. Football Index.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That is insane.
Pope, Shar, Odegaard, and Nketiah, Haaland. Very similar, Joe Ducey, between me and Harry. You've got that team there. The Santos boys is went with Harry in goals. Levi Colwell. Oh, no, he's telling you. Levi Colwell, rare coming to an end. Harry boy.
Yeah, I saw that. Let me have a quick look at that quickly. I did quickly see it. Well, how much it was at like £100. What's it at now? Oh, it's still only at 113. No, he's English, but he's on loan from Chelsea.
Yeah, he's well thought of, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a top player. To be fair, left-footed centre half, really good. I can't see how that
level, isn't he?
Yeah, 19. Yeah, probably, maybe even better because you could argue he's playing in the Prem already in a weird way. So, but no, we have both really good players. Yeah, £113, 2 minutes left. I'm getting some breaking news. Apparently, Enzo didn't train today.
Ooh,
Um,
he's pushing for that 500
yeah,
million transfer to Chelsea.
I'll be gutted if he goes. I'll be absolutely gutted. I can't lie.
Atri Gosh, his eight is Jose Sa, Emi Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, the Butcher, Christian Romero. Argentinian defences, man. Talk about popular. Odegaard, Bruno, Salah, and Nketiah. Atri Gosh, that's a lovely team. Hey, my Sanchez, Stupian, Badiashile, Rodri, Saka, Kulusevski, and Haaland. And Lewis Atherton is going with Ramsdale, Lisandro, Saka, Ward-Prowse. First mention for him today. And Rashford.
Yeah, what is Ward Prowse's price? I don't want to. I don't want to go off
I'll,
my
I'll go
my
and look. I'll
Colwell
go and look
screen.
at it.
Go have a look.
You,
Yeah, go have a look for me, guys. That'd be
yeah, I'll
really
go and
interesting. I completely forgot about that.
I'll look on my screen.
And
You stay there, Harry.
what's
We'll come back to you.
Madison's as well? What's Madison's
Madison's
as
like
well, Graham?
high. Madison's is high.
Is it?
Yeah, Madison is. I thought he was high anyway. Who was I just about to look for again? I've just totally Madison's totally threw me
Ward
off there.
Prowse.
Oh, Ward Prowse, of course. Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
just filter by teams rather than going in a dance to nothing. So Ward Prowse comes in at 59. And looking at his points,
Okay.
he got 89 against Everton 2 weeks ago, so 61 against Fulham, 81 against Brighton, all post-World Cup, these scores. Good form running into it. Yeah, very good. James Ward-Prowse, very good shout still. And what was the other one again? Madison.
Madison. Yeah.
I think he's in the 50s as well, buddy. But we'll get my check. And Madison, 64. Yeah, I knew he was high. And he's on crap form, actually. His L50 is probably going to come down. It's probably not worth taking Madison now. He's got a 27 just popped in. He's maybe coming back from injury off the bench and stuff. So a couple more low scores like that. It's probably going to be a better opportunity to get Madison in than it is from now, I would think.
Just looking at
Harry
the chat
doesn't
there.
like Boubacar Kamara.
That's not true. That's not true. I do like him. I do, and he's been better than he sort of has been over the last few weeks. He's been pretty good, to be honest. But at 40 points, yeah, you probably can't leave him there if you are looking for like a budget mid on here. But you'd want the defender card, really. I don't think the mid card really does much for you personally. Not that Villa keep like a ton of clean sheets, but if they do, he could score, very peaky. And I just don't think it as a mid, he's going to really do that unless he gets a decisive, which is kind of unlikely in the way he kind of plays in that Villa team. I'm just looking at this Colwell auction, £170. It's not a lot. It's really not. But then,
one-off premium.
It's one of the. Yeah, it's a one-off premium. It's the. He's not actually scoring that well. Like, I'm not in too much of a rush to be like, oh my god, I want this card. But it's a great card to have. Don't get me wrong. I think it's really nice. 205 now.
Yeah, Eddie Yorkshire's confirming the Madison thing we were saying there. And Batman Abs is came to save the day. He said, what do we think about John McGinn? And John McGinn at the moment is showing up as potentially injured, expected to be back, according to Sorare here, on the 5th of February. Great bits of detail and intel that we get from this. But yeah, I'd very much take John McGinn when he gets back fit and available. If he's around the 44-point mark or so, I think he'll be a great midfielder. And I'll definitely swap him in when he's back fit and playing, because that'll be good fun to see him. But if you look at Douglas Luiz, by the way, Man City, ex-Man City kid loaned out everywhere. He's got a proper good SO5 pedigree about him at the moment. Defensive midfielder for Villa. Doesn't get decisive actions very rarely a season. And like a poor man's Rodri, you might even say, at 57 points at Unai Emery's Aston Villa. I thought Buendia was worth a look as well. I was looking at him when this first got unveiled. He plays a lot at Villa. He's only 41 points. And he's maybe like... Yeah, he's not bad at all, but he goes between 38 and 75, really. Not many in the middle. It's either yellow or green.
Villa team, that Villa team under Unai Emery is just, it's not an SO5 haven in any way. So if they do get good scores, it's very, few and far between and hard to sort of predict who's going to really get them. It's not something, I wouldn't really be touching Villa players if you can kind of help it. Charlie Dunbar says Colwell's out for 6 weeks, he believes, which is interesting.
Thank you for the discount inbound then.
Yeah, and Noosa said that as well, Noosa season. So thank you both for informing me on that. But yeah, £260. It looks like he's going to go for 0.2 ETH. Is
let it go,
what
Harry.
we're working with. Yeah, I'm letting it go.
Let it go.
and that
Brighton
went. Yeah,
squad is actually
260.
really good and young, says Santa's boys. And I think we're all seeing that, man. The moves that Brighton have been making in the transfer window over the last 12
Incredible.
months, like, they put Benfica to shame, you know? Like, they're
Yeah,
knocking back 70 million for Casiedo. It's like, no, go
ridiculous.
away,
How,
Arsenal.
how can Brighton afford to do that? Like, it's incredible. It really, really is.
They were just so Trossard, they sold Cucurella for big money. Ben White went for big money, you know. And there was somebody else, I'm sure. Yves Bissouma went for big money as well to
Yeah,
somebody. So,
Tottenham.
aye,
Yeah,
man, Brighton are showing everybody how it's done on a low budget, how to hustle and grind.
100%. Just looking here,
Hendo, good to
Dennis
see you.
Undav, 1 of 100. Oh yeah, Hendo's in the building. What's going on, mate? Yeah, Dennis Undav's back on Sorare, Quinny, 1 of 100. Brighton card, of course.
Oh, yeah, so he is. Ollie Watkins, Matthias Nunes, Tarek Lamptey. Tarek Lamptey was a huge scorer for Brighton about a year ago.
For a little while, yeah, he was, wasn't he? He's been pushed out of the team a little bit, to be fair. There was actually rumours, Quinny, that I remember I said last week that he might be going to Sporting.
Yeah. Like, he was well
So
highly
that,
rated for about 6 months. Everyone was talking about spending all their money on him. Like
yeah,
Barca,
yeah,
you know, like everyday. And now he's
that
obviously
could be
kind
a
of
really
falling off a bit.
interesting one. I'm
Yeah, it could
gutted
be good.
I ever sold my my midfielder Onana, well, my Ray Onana card basically, because he's been scoring really well for Everton.
Yeah, I'm not a big
Lovely
fan of
card
his. I
to
would have
have.
sold him as.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he'd take to the Premier League this quick, but he's a hell of an athlete, and he's just sort of, I don't know, he's added a few
Yep.
decisives, and he's been really, 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 yeah, he's been very decisive, to be fair.
Sean Dyche unveiled as the Everton manager today. Is that a good thing for Onana? When I was looking at the draft, I
Uh,
did think it might be a good thing for Tarkovsky. He's quite a cheap defender, I think. Obviously, former Burnley. That's where he made his name. Sean Dyche
yeah,
coming into the building.
good point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're doing everything they can to avoid relegation, and is that an SO5 hate? Like, does that smell really high SO5 scores to you? Probably not. Like, you're just sort of in, like, you're in survival mode, aren't you? As a team, as players, like, the goal isn't to go out and put on a show. The goal's to sort of stay alive. And I don't know if that really, maybe in a weird way, that does mean, more duels won, more tackles won, bodies on the line a bit more. I don't know what way you can look at it, but yeah, it depends. It depends how you view it, really.
Onana is our best mid. I don't think he'll be at Everton next season, says Sorare Malta.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Badia Shield doesn't have a 1 of 100 because he has mints this season from his Monaco card, so they start at 37 of 100, Quinny,
Good
which is
spot.
interesting.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Kai Havertz. I tell you, who's an interesting one. Michael Olise. He is.
Okay.
He has the potential to be like a really good SO5 player, and I mean like incredibly good. Takes set pieces, has a wand of a left foot. He is a
Wow.
midfielder card, which doesn't. It doesn't like. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not great. I'd prefer if it was a forward card because he does play on the wing. But regardless, really, really exciting player. Plays France under 21s. As you can see, some of his scores are really, really good. I'm sharing my
There
my
we go.
Sorare data screen now. You've got, I mean, he scored a free kick against United a couple of games ago, a 98 against Bournemouth, 2 assists, a
Huge.
goal against West Ham, 22 AA. He's got some really nice peaks here, and like I said, set pieces is huge. I
That is a
think
good
this could be.
spot. How much is
I,
he?
like I don't know what he is on the draft, but I'm just looking at his rare card here. 55 minutes ago. I don't know what the 1 of 100 will go for, but I see 0.4s, 0.5s maybe because of the 1 of 100.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he is on the draft. I can't see him being that expensive on the draft. Ryan says Zaha's injured as well, which is true. He is injured.
Yeah.
Just looking here. Would you guys go for Odegaard or Saka? What would you go for, Quinny?
Saka.
Bless me. Sorry.
Up you, Harry boy.
Yeah, sorry. I tried to mute my mic.
That's all right.
Yeah, didn't work as well as I wanted to. You say Saka?
I say Saka, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit more decisive. I mean, aesthetically, you'd go for Odegaard if you're watching a game of football. You'd be like, "Wow, this kid's a joke," even though Saka's a joke as well. But yeah, in terms of data and how things are scored on Sorare, I think Saka has to be the play. Plays a bit more forward, involved in decisives a bit more, takes set pieces a little bit more than Odegaard does. Yeah, I'd probably say Odegaard as well. Olise and Eze were two I wish I could get paid in SO5.
Could get paid
Somebody said,
SO5
bless you, Harry.
Unlimiteds or something. Yeah.
I got you. Bless you, Harry. Thank you, TNFA. Casemiro, Grant says. That's an interesting one, Quinny.
I think Hoodwink's
What do you
caught a
think?
good one here as well, with Riot and Ben Mee defensive stack on the cheap.
Okay. For
That could be a good
Brentford,
shout
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I can get behind it. I can get behind that one for sure. It'll be interesting, Quinny, as well. Like the teams that, so who is bottom of the Premier League right now? Let me have a look.
Actually, people were talking about Ward Prowse playing in the Championship, so I'm going to say Southampton are going to be
Yeah,
amongst it.
things like that do actually come into the equation, especially with buying cards now in February. I know you can't really. So bottom is Southampton, Everton 19th, Bournemouth 18th, and then Wolves, West Ham. So it's like, if you are picking up players from those clubs, I know there's no guarantee they stay with those teams when they go down, if they go down, but there's some weirdly good opportunities maybe to be had, if that makes sense. They might not score right now. They might not score very well right now, but in the next sort of 4 months, we're going to see who does go down. And like you said, a Ward Prowse in the Championship. I know the thing is, he's good enough to get a move. Senior levels, just 100 every week.
Probably would be.
Yeah, yeah, probably. So that would be interesting. I don't know how to really see that. Saicedo here, even though we had Saicedo cards already. Dan James is now on the platform, another Welshman. Forgot about Dan James. He's a forward card, which is cool. Lucas Moura just went for £134.
Ooh.
One of 100.
To Jack Daniels. Adam Armstrong
Jack Daniels.
in the champ. JRDZ is looking forward to seeing Adam Armstrong in the Championship as well. What do you guys think about 4-man stacks for Pro 270? Ben Johnson, they can work well, right? But in my opinion, I would probably try and veer away from a complete team unless it's like a smasher of a team and a smasher of a fixture. Just personally. But they definitely work, and the benefit to stacking, Harry, I'm sure you can testify to as well. It's just that it's correlation. If the clean sheet happens, 3 guys benefit. If there's 4 goals scored, you've got the midfielder that created 2 of them, as well as the forward that got 1 or 2. That's the kind of benefit of it. So when you are stacking, if there's no feasibility of that correlation coming in, like they're not going to beat the team 3-0, then having 4 players from the same team, it has a limit to how good it'll be. Yeah,
it's all about it. I mean, I don't know what 4 you're looking to pick, but let's say 3 of them are defenders, and like Quinny said, that you need a clean sheet. There's just no way around it. It's just impossible to really reap the reward from a defensive stack if you're not getting those sort of vital clean sheets, right?
Yeah, exactly. Gary Kemp's asking about the auctions and stuff. So worth paying now for you, or what you're saying is value drops cause relegation becoming imminent? So Gary, depending on who gets relegated, so there's another division in Sorare called Second Division, and all these cards can be played in Global, even if they're in the Championship of England or the Premiership. It doesn't matter. They can be played in Global and in Under 23 and in all the cap modes. It doesn't matter what division they're in. So some guys being bottom of the Premier League is a really rubbish situation, but if they're going to get relegated and become a top 8 side, or maybe even top 3 side, and get automatically promoted, then you go from having a guy that is scoring 5 goals a season to maybe a guy that scores 25. Like a Timo Pukki kind of vibe, if you can imagine, or a Charlie Austin, that kind of situation. Ward Prowse in the past as well, I'm sure, has done this kind of thing before. So it depends on the individual, and again, like Harry's saying, some of these guys will transfer. They won't even stay with the relegated team. They'll be off. Maybe they go to Ajax or the Sporting Lisbon, or they move their way back into Europe somehow, or maybe up the Premier League ladder. So it depends on the individual guys, Gary, I would say.
Look at this Coutinho Super Rare Quinny, 0.15 ETH. He doesn't look happy. He doesn't like the Unai Emery philosophy of football. Isn't getting the games that he put. Well, definitely not getting the minutes he would like. He is playing in those games, but definitely not. Wholesome minutes. So interesting one. Does Coutinho move? I know we've only got a day or so left, but he probably doesn't move. But that seems cheap. £191 for a Super Rare Coutinho. Is Coutinho on the game already, or am I just being stupid?
Yeah, he's got a few Barca and Bayern cards, I think.
Of course he does. Yeah, okay.
Not many, but I think he's got 1 super rare or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's been scoring pretty well. Southampton centre back. Yeah. Paletica, and I think Bella Kotchap's out injured, so it could be a decent little super rare pickup. I know that's not going to stay at £63, but regardless, that's still decent. Did you see this Duvakis guy, Quinny, on the weekend score? I think he scored 3 goals,
Oofed.
2 assists, and a 21 AA score in the 5-all game with
Wow.
AZ Alkmaar, and they've just, of course, released his unique. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing indeed, man. That's
Perfect
Julian
timing.
Alvarez levels.
Yeah, at River Days, yeah, 100%.
We've got a great
This
question here,
isn't
Harry. Who would you pick for your
one
last extra slot of Mount, Estupian, or Kulusevski?
for this weekend.
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Ooh, who are Chelsea playing?
Chelsea
Let
don't
me,
have an easy game. I've not picked them in anything. I didn't go anywhere near
let
them.
me have a look. They play. They play Fulham at home. Yeah, get Mount in. Get him in.
Mount.
Yeah, you got to go Mount there. I think. I'd say second to that would be a Stupinan because I do fancy that clean sheet and maybe a cheeky assist. Even though I like Kulu out of the 3 most in terms of just flat out player. Obviously, tough fixture away to home to Man City. I think Mount's the obvious one. Even though I don't know, Chelsea are a bit weird with who they play recently in terms of how many forward options they have and midfielder options. So I don't know if he's a lock, but if you think Mount plays, I think he'll score the best out of those 3 if I had to guess.
Patrick Magic is asking if it's worth picking up a Rico Lewis limited for 0.15 ETH. I'm going to suggest if you wait a week, you'll probably get a better price on that, is what I would imagine.
Yeah, especially if you don't care about the 1 of 100s and stuff.
Yeah, if you're not after a jersey number or a one-off or something, honestly, give it a week, give it 4 days, and you'll get a much better idea of where the market lies and how much these things actually cost. Because there is a lot of day one hype. There's a lot of people that do want one-offs, do pay over the odds for one-offs, and they're out here the now. And what that does, just to kind of lay it out for anyone who is kind of new, if you've got me, Harry, and like 6 other guys really buzzing to get Rico Lewis, and then there's 2 other guys out there that are even more excited, or even just as excited, but they've got more money, then guess what? They're going to get the first 2 because they're going to outbid you on auctions. So with some guys, it depends on their individual demand. You see some guys after like serial number, I don't know, let's say 5 or 6, their auctions really tail off, and then they find their kind of natural market position. Some guys that hangs all the way to like the 30th, the 20th auction, and some guys it's maybe only the first 1 or 2. It just really depends on the individual. So I always recommend hanging back for as long as possible, and you'll be able to see in the fullness of time when this kind of it's hard to call the bottom on these things, of course, but you'll see like, I've saved myself by waiting a day 30% or something. That kind of thing probably will happen, I would imagine. So I would say make a little list, Patrick. Make a proper list of the actual guys that you are after, and just sit back and watch and see how much they all kind of fall into, and then make a wee plan of attack from there.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Just seen Ben say there, just show an NBA day 1 graph and it illustrates that point effectively. Perfectly, sorry. Yeah.
I did a draft video. I did a trading video, sorry, the other day. And I've got a few belters, like I know I can find them quite easily, of ones that I went in the NBA day 1, and I say I'm getting some deja vu on some of these ones, but like this is probably one of the most ridiculous ones. Marcus Smart, 5 of 1,000. This was like defensive player of the year or something. And wait till you see this chart for 6 months, is it? Like, look at that. So the first 1 or 2 went for like 0.2-ish of an Ethereum. Let's put that in pound notes, right? Just because we've probably got a mixed audience today. So the first 2 went for about 250 quid. I bought mine at 160 quid on its way down, and then it settled. We're really talking within the matter of, so when's that? The 22nd of October, and they came out on the 22nd of October. So you're talking within a day, they went down to £22. I bought mine for 160. So like ridiculous. Now basketball limiteds are off 5,000, and there's a few different things that went on over there. In terms of like it's a new sport, less people are maybe coming to it, or whatever. But this kind of thing will kind of probably be happening right now to a greater or lesser extent, depending on the individual player we're talking about. You're not going to see that happen to an Haaland or a Foden or a Rashford or a Jadon Sancho or anything. But a Levi Colwill, once you get to issue number 8, 10 of a rare, issue 50 of a limited, you might have a similar kind of graph to that where Number one went for 200. Maybe they settle around 40, 50 quid. You know, kind of idea.
Especially if he's still not play, like if that guy's not playing for whatever reason, like that'll just suppress the price even more, and etc. etc. But Gabriel in the chat's going for a defensive stack, Quinny, Pope, Trippier, Stupinan, Odegaard, and Nketiah. I really like that. I think
I
that's a
feel really backed
really
up on this Nketiah shout. Feels like a lot of people are picking Nketiah. I feel really backed up on that. Oh, thank God. I was a bit worried.
yeah, people have they got a bounty on your head now, just in case Nketiah don't score.
That's it.
I
and
see
Alex is
Brendan Aronson's a forward now, Quinny. Sorry to interrupt you. Aronson's new cards are a forward, which I think is cool.
yeah, that is good, especially if he's getting. Well, it's not good. You kind of want him as a mid because he does a lot of that pressing stuff and winning interceptions and stuff. You know.
But then you do get interceptions as a forward. You get 3 points. It's just tackles you don't get. So
yeah, that's just who's scoring them. But again, this is one of the things we're going to get to enjoy with the Prem is it's got the absolute most sterile, scientific coverage of every kick of the ball. You know, like if you're buying it, you can really, I think, look at SO5 scores and think, oh, well, Harry Kane always scores 68 against Southampton or something. Probably, you know, like, or, you know, these kind of things probably will, you know, you'll probably be able to find a bit more reliability in the data from Opta, as it were.
Quinny, the Billy Gilmore Super Rare card looks absolutely gorgeous. I can't lie.
Oh, yeah. And we'll be at Brighton as well, won't he?
Yeah, it's a really nice looking card. The Emmy Martinez Unique. Get my screen on the screen, Quinny. Have a look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Emmy Martinez Unique. How gorgeous is that?
That's a good one, man.
Like with like the rainbow in the background and stuff. Oh,
yeah. That's a good one, man.
That is tasty. This is, these cards just look so much better than they did 4 years ago. It's incredible, isn't it? If you think about it.
Absolute game changing, man.
It doesn't it? And it doesn't even feel like you should be able to play them together. Rodri Super Rare, yeah, they just look incredible. Skamaka Super Rare, Jacob
Dele Alli
Super Rare is an interesting. Dele Alli Unique.
How much is that going for? Come on.
Day left. Probably an ETH. He scored like 90, 100 on the weekend.
Got his shit together.
Yeah, an absolute stormer. Nketiah Super Rare. This Juan Larios. This looks a really nice card, obviously, with the rookie situation. I mean, Gabriel, there's some really good looking cards. This is the thing, like, not only are we buying for utility, but like these cards just look good as well, which gives it another like dimension of value in a weird way, doesn't it, Quinny?
Yeah,
and I know it goes the other way as well, where like the older cards have the nostalgia attached to them. If we are like us, we've been playing Sorare for X amount of years now. But with these new cards, there's just something so professional about them. It's just really, really refreshing to see.
I'm gonna bring something up for anyone who's still here. So I'm still over 120 of these absolute legends here. Please do hit the like button. There is only about bloody 30 or 40s I've done that. Come on, help us out a bit here. But I remember Brian O'Hagan ages ago put a little tweet reply to somebody in a comment. It was ages ago. It was a little thing, but I've always remembered it. Saying that they do have the ability, and maybe they're gearing up at some point to do some cards with away shirts and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And when you think about how well organised the Premier League is for like getting photos and all the kits and all that for Sky Sports when they're like walking out for the lineups and all that caper, maybe we get a bunch of Champ, Euro, MLS, or maybe we start to see some like away kits and some cool stuff. And if they do start to really kick out the special edition stuff in line with how good this level of design we're getting to is, then the aesthetics are definitely right there.
Quinny, look at this. This people are still bidding on this Coutinho. It's up to £800.
Wow. And a Villa kit.
What's going on?
He doesn't look happy.
He doesn't look happy, does he?
He doesn't look happy. Why are they buying him? He's saying, stop it, I'm hostage.
I'm scoring 25 points a week. Get away from me.
For sure, man. It's been a nice wee bump to the likes. Thank you very much. But please, guys, come on. We've got to get up to about 100 likes. There's 130, 140 VC.
I've even liked it. I'm watching on my laptop. You should be. If I can like, you can like. And I'm on the stream myself. So
Hendo's saying he might go for the Shelly SR. What's the Shelly SR?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what he's on about there, to be fair.
Might go for the Shelly SR. Maybe
Someone
Gilmore?
said Prem moments cards incoming, possibly, Quinny. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe still they did tease that kind of thing before, and there was some of the stuff that, by the way, Harry, that's some of the things that we maybe could have spoken. Well, we can speak about now. Is like when we've heard all the rumor mill for the last year around the bid, and it was accepted, or some other company had it, and it would bust, and now there's this, and now there's that. A part of the chat was that Sorare were going in on the bid with Dapper Labs, and Dapper Labs were going to do moments, Top Shot style, and Sorare were going after the fantasy license and all that kind of caper, you know. So
Yeah.
maybe in the next coming days we get some sort of Dapper Labs announcement as well for a moments thing. Maybe Sorare have maybe integrated that somehow, because we did have that tease before for the Prem. So yeah, what do you think about any of that? Will we get any fancy stuff like that? Any kind of back of the card stuff? We've got an Odegaard Super Rare about to go as well, by the way.
Oh, really? Let me have a look.
40 minutes, I say just about.
40 minutes. Yeah. I was like, get me
Caught
to
my
that
eye.
now. Let me have a look.
Just caught my eye.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll want to. I think they'll want to sort of test the waters first, see how the launch goes, and then sort of start introducing things. I don't think you want to really just like pump out everything you have under your or in your armory like at once. I don't think. I think it'll be more of a strategic like launch in that sense. Yeah, launch the cards, but then maybe have the moments in the back pocket if whatever if things go successful, which they should do. It looks like they are. But yeah, no, there's definitely scope for new things, and I think with all these, like we just saw that AC Milan trip where you could go on the plane to them, whatever, like things like that. That just becomes obviously
Normal.
Normal, but like for the Premier League, that'll just make things like just so accessible, because a lot of Sorare players are from the UK and especially Europe, and getting to England slash well,
London,
there's no Welsh teams in the
Manchester.
Prem right now, so I can't purse in that conversation. But yeah, getting to England is just not that hard. And yeah, I just think those possibilities, the things the Sorare and the Prem will have in their sort of back pocket in terms of experiences and stuff, is just going to be, I'd hope, ridiculously, incredible. I just don't see why they wouldn't be if they're doing it with the AC Milan and whoever else. Like, there's no reason why this massive £30 million, because isn't it like a 4-year deal, Quinny? Did I read?
I didn't catch that detail.
Pretty sure I saw 4 years. So, this is a longish term thing. You'd like to think that this could be, something that's, really, really memorable for fans and users and players and players in terms of like actual football players, not so much Sorare players. So yeah, I think overall this was like the last stone of the Thanos, like, wasn't it? The fucking whatever he's got, whatever you call it. What is his thing?
The Infinity Gauntlet.
That's it, the Infinity Gauntlet. So I don't know. I just think this is it, isn't it? It's like it's now or never type of thing.
Yeah, I've got IAK's gallery up. He's been out scooping out all the one-of Man United cards. And he's been on a spree. He's got Anthony, Wan-Bissaka and Shaw Rare, De Gea, Ericsson, Sancho, McTominay Limiteds. I think he's got all the ones that have came out to this point. He's just been buying them all up, and it does look nice to see them all in a gallery, man. Like, yeah, it does look swish. I can't deny it, man. It looks like
the cards just look so full, don't they? Like everything's they're just really like they just pop, and they're sort of rounded, and everything just looks aesthetically really, really pleasing. Oh, the limited Garnacho is beautiful, by the way. Jesus Christ. That is, it's like the off yellowy color. Oh my God, that is insane.
Yeah, they're nice, man.
Yeah, they're really
well. Here,
there we go. So
Anime Zone's asking, how's Sorare different from FPL? Is good FPL assets decent for Sorare? I think if you're good at FPL in terms of a player, you'll probably be good at Sorare. But there's probably a lot of guys that are just non-existent on FPL that are better.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is like, it's not an issue, but yeah, FPL players coming over to play, their initial reaction is, okay, well, I'm good at FPL, or I know FPL and I know the Prem, so I'm going to go buy some Premier League, limiteds, which makes sense. I think that's the best thing to do for any beginner playing this game, is go and buy players who they are. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be getting involved in Asia's and Argentinian leagues yet, because there's team use you have to worry about, there's translation issues, there's all sorts of problems. With the Premier League, there's top of top of the range information out there in terms of injuries and whatever, and who's going to play, who's not going to play, right? I think that is the best way to start. Sorry, if you're brand new right now and the Premier League is what you're familiar with. That but then on the same thing is like Quinny just said, don't think that those Premier League players are just going to outscore everyone else in terms of like, you know, just raw Sorare scores, because they're not going to. Like, the Premier League isn't that good of a league for Sorare scores. It's just not, unless you're buying the creme de la creme, but you'd be talking crazy money, right? So in terms of value, that's why we all shop in these other different leagues and, you know, and find our edges elsewhere. But I do still think you should start with a Premier League team in a weird way. Would you agree with that, Quinny? Just for like knowing who you're buying, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be spending money on random ass Argentinians, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you for that. And I think like, I just don't think there's a team that outside of the creme de la creme. I just don't think you can stack a team in the Prem. But I think you could go and get like the Ward Prowse, and then go and get the Shah,
James Maddison, and
get a Madison, and you can get that kind of team on the go and be very competitive in Sorare. But you're not going to go and buy all the Leicester players, you know, or buy all the Brentford players. That's not going to fly unless it's like cap 220 or something. Or
yeah, that's the issue now, isn't it? It's like there's so many different leagues that even we're not familiar with, Quinny. We haven't even had a go at them yet. So it's like, you know, with all these cap situations, it's almost like you could buy anyone at this point and it fits somewhere. You don't know where, but it's going to fit somewhere. For the most part, if you buy 5 players, goalkeeper to midfielder, defender, attacker, and that extra, it'll fit somewhere. I don't know where they'll fit where you want it to fit, but it's gonna fit somewhere. It's kind of how I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, sure. I bet you see that to the birds, Harry.
I wish.
In Sorare, you have the AA. Rodri is better than Haaland, probably. Yeah, so Jonathan's explained that in a bit more detail. If you want a full breakdown, there's a playlist in the description called New to Sorare, and there's a video in there where I break down the scoring matrix. It goes from 0 to 100, and you can explain it in a bit more detail. But in essence, yeah, because FPL is predominantly like decisive actions, isn't it? Goals, assists, that kind of thing. And then you get really small points for passes or something, shots. Whereas this, it's like decisive actions make a huge difference, but everything they're doing is captured for better or for worse, you know. So there's just a lot more kind of going on. 100%. Film stack looks good for Pro 270, says Brian Johnson. Maybe a film stack for Pro 270 could be the way to go. But you're not going to win All-Star with a film stack, of course. But maybe in some of these modes, you'll find some stacks that could be good fun if you're a fan of the team to run in most weeks, you know.
Yeah, Gabrielle says Anthony Ray for 0.4 is a banger after looking at that AIKs. I think that's what you got the 1 of 100 for, Quinny.
Yeah, it is. I'll go back on screen.
That's cheap, isn't it? I've got it here. 512 pounds, 0.4 ETH for the 1 of 100 Anthony. That seems cheap, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, his scores haven't been ridiculously good, but you're looking at it here, Quinny. 6 days ago, his Ajax card went for £627, and now his Man United 1 of 100 card's going for 512. That doesn't look great, does it, if I'm being honest?
Nah, I think that's a wee bit, but when you look at those history, a lot of those transactions were all 3 days ago. So probably a lot, like we were saying earlier, if there's 5 people that want an Anthony, then you need to get in line. But if like the 5 of them have spent their money already because they already had Anthony cards, and now that I want a Prem card to play a Premier Division, you know?
Yeah, it was Roxy Dog to like sweep the floor. To be fair, so
was it?
Yeah,
it's not really accurate then of the market as such.
Not really. Yeah, probably not. No, to be fair, that's a good point. Yeah, nice. It is interesting. Just looking here, Alex Tuanzebi 1 of 100. Let's see if AIK is in on this. Is he in on it? He is, of course. He's top bid.
It's good for them all, man. He loves it.
Top bid. I wonder what's happening with this Pedro. Is Pedro Porro leaving? What's the latest on that?
I think the brakes have been put on that, buddy. I don't know if I should buy Prem cards or continue saving up for Oscar Gluck. I would continue saving up for Oscar Gluck, Jonathan Gargi, if I was you, my buddy. Fist bump, by the way. I seen you at the airport. Travel safe, and I hope you enjoyed your holiday. But yeah, if I was you, buddy, I'd keep up for the Glucks because you've been waiting for him to get a card for donkeys, you know. So yeah, I would stick with your man.
Lads, I think Enzo's gone to Chelsea. It's done.
Woofed. It's done.
Chelsea have agreed a 115 million deal with Benfica to sign Enzo. Blues will pay more than 105 mil release clause so that Benfica accept the payments in installments. That was 2 minutes ago. Yeah, it looks to be done, Quinn, and that's killed me for midweek. Absolutely killed me.
Of course it has.
I had him captain. To be fair though, I have a lot of other options. like I was quite lucky in the sense of like if he was to not play, I do have options. But yeah, he was primed as my captain. So yeah, but I tell you what, Quinny, he might not get Chelsea cards now.
He might not. He will at some point.
He
Maybe just
might
not for a
not.
while.
Yeah, he will. At
I can
some
see.
point,
I can see Premier League cards, but getting express service because he did get Benfica cards quite quick, didn't he? I don't think he's really been there
Yeah.
that long in the grand scheme of things, you know.
Yeah,
Enzo
no,
is
you're
ruined,
right.
says Santa Boys. That's him, R.I.P. Ian Sorare's asking if he missed anything. Yes, Ian Sorare, you missed everything. You need to go back to the beginning. What do you think of Karl Hein at Arsenal, under 23 goalkeeper until 2026, and he's Estonia #1. Now, if the Estonian national team is anything like the Estonian division, then he probably concedes like 8 goals a game and stuff like that when he plays for
Yeah.
Estonia. But hey, man, you know, add it into the pile. Jonathan Gargi, that's the sort of card you'd be picking up for Nations League Group F action, because I know you love stacking down in those kind of obscure leagues, and that's definitely worth one keeping. And I was actually looking at the lineup builder, Harry, for the next month, and I've got a few games for Anatoly Trubin coming up. So
Okay.
these things, you know, when you get utility for these little blue X guys or whatever, when they come along, you know, you're always happy you've got them in your gallery, I think. So, yeah, great
100%.
one.
Charlie Dunbar says Alan Varela to Benfica now, please. Yeah, I'm all aboard that. I would love that situation too.
What about your unique? What if you went to Benfica?
Santiago,
Well,
Sebastian, sorry. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gutted about Enzo, to be honest. I now have a Chelsea stack. I have Enzo Fernandez, Badiashile Super and Wesley Fofana Rare. They've all moved to Chelsea in the
you've not
last
got
year
a
or so.
Felix?
Don't have a Felix, no. How does his new card look? I want to see. Ooh, that looks nice. I like it.
Looks better than that
Cards on
Atletico kit, man. That ice
does,
cream
doesn't
one.
it?
Oh, he's not got one?
Oh, there's no.
Ooh,
That's
maybe
interesting.
limited.
So there's no.
Check limited.
Ooh, yeah, there is limited. There must be. Is there? No. Wow, that's interesting. So they have him in the picture, but they haven't managed to get the card out for whatever reason.
Yeah, so there'll probably been a couple of waves. We've seen this before with leagues maybe where
Yeah,
you don't quite get
definitely.
everyone, but you'd think you'd get a couple. Do we have a De Bruyne? I've not seen De Bruyne anywhere.
Question. Yeah, I don't think we have Quinny.
I've been waiting to see De Bruyne. Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah, there
How
we
much
go.
is he going
Yeah.
for, Harry? Tell me the news. What does a De Bruyne go
What's
for?
the rare?
How many
So
kidneys? I've got 4. I've
the
been saving up.
there's 4 hours left on the 1 of 100, so there's not much to look at there. But if we go to limited and we go down to, so this one was the 1 of 1,000. It went for 0.5.
Decent.
Not terrible.
Much better
But then
than
he hasn't been as good. Yeah. Mate, have a look at this De Gea. Let me show you this De Gea. I think it must have been, thinking about it now, it must have been AIK that
yeah, it would have been.
the
He's got De
spunk on
Gea's.
it. Have a look at this. Look at that, 1.04 ETH.
He must have been ran up on it. Somebody must have went for it.
That's
Because
ridiculous.
De Gea is an all-timer at Man United in a way, you know, like he's been there for
Look
so
at that,
long.
Quinny. The 2 of 1,000 went for 10 times less effectively. That is
Wow.
a
That's
big
huge.
jump. Like that's ridiculous. Absolutely crazy, I think. Like, is the 1 of 1,000 De Gea that much of a like? I don't know. I think that's ridiculous personally.
I do. For the limited, I do agree with that. But see, I think De Gea, as far as a Man United player goes in the current squad, to be like a legend or something, you know, like
Yeah, he's probably the one, isn't he? If anything.
he's been there for so long, player of the years out his backside, you know, and all the rest of it. Alex Ferguson era and everything.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do get it. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this all plays out over the next few days. You know, does the things drop massively in terms of the 1 of 100s and sort of how all that sort of plans out and plays out.
But Harry boy, I think me and you, we're going to be back on, is it Friday? When? Oh, we won't know until is this game week opened? When the weekend game week opens, we'll know. And it should be, we're going to be back on Friday, I think at lunchtime, about 12ish, 1 o'clock-ish. Subscribe to the channel, hit notification bells on, and we'll be getting stuck into the first Premier League like draft game week and the reward pools and all the good shit. We'll all be kicking
It's
off.
going to be amazing.
You know? Harry's been great fun.
Can't wait. Yep.
Thanks to everyone that's joined us live. It's been an absolute blast. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.
See you guys.